Former Transnet board member and Gupta family associate Iqbal Sharma has been denied bail. He's facing charges of fraud and money laundering alongside several others, including Free State agriculture officials and the Guptas. It's in connection with over 24.9 million rand the department paid for a 2011 feasibility study for the failed Estina dairy farm project. 3 of farmers' other co-accused have been granted bail. Let's get the latest now with eNCA senior reporter Aviwe Mtila joining us on the Midday View live from Bloemfontein. Good afternoon, Aviwe. Bail has been denied for Iqbal Sharma. What happened?
That's the case, brother, and as the magistrate painted out that no amount of bail can secure Iqbal Sharma's stay in the country. He's a flight risk, and he's been denied bail. We heard here how much that while he may not have much money in South Africa, he has offshore assets that are in excess of hundreds of millions. But just to paint out exactly the basis of the denial of the bail, I'm joined by the NPA's investigating directorate's Sincere Saboka. Thank you for joining us at eNCA. But what was the basis of opposing Iqbal Sharma's bail?
There was a number of bases, but one that I can tell you about, which Advocate Peter Serunye drew a picture for. He mentioned that Iqbal Sharma is subject to various investigations which emanate from the State Capture Commission of Inquiry involving Transnet and various other roles. So he was also saying that, unfortunately, if he was then granted bail, it would mean he has an incentive to flee. And of those investigations, many of the preferred charges that are possibly going to come are fraud and corruption, which the minimum sentence is about 15 years. So he has an incentive in order to flee. Another mention, or something that we mentioned to the court, is that he hasn't been fully honest about his assets. Only 10% of his assets that he owns are currently in South Africa, while a significant chunk, over 260 million, is actually abroad in a company, ISAP Global, that he co-owns with another person who's currently out of the country. So what we're saying is that should he have been granted bail, would have the mammoth task, a nightmare to say the very least, of having to add yet another name to the extradition request to bring him back into the country. We also made it, or Advocate Serunye also made it quite clear in court that where is it that would actually get him, because he mentioned that he had already been in and out of over a number of countries across the world, Africa, Europe and Asia, over 100 flights that we could actually found that those are the trips that he had taken in and around the world. So it would also be a nightmare to get him back. We also drew the picture that this particular person is a global citizen. So we know with the border issue that we have in South Africa, whether the passports are handed in, UK passport, South African passport are handed in or not, it's quite easy for people with money to flee.
We also understand there are 8 others that are currently abroad in this matter. Previously, you didn't have a treaty with the UAE to get them back in the country. Are there any developments in that regard?
So Advocate Serunye told the court that there seems to be some indication that the UAE has signed or ratified that particular treaty, but that will be properly disclosed in due course. But we also told the court that in terms of the Interpol leg of it, that there have been red notice. So there are attempts to get them back into the country.
And then just a way forward in this particular matter, can you map out maybe what's going to happen now?
So what's going to happen is that we're going to be back in court as a team on the 15th. This is for Dinesh Patel, one of the accused that has to appear. This is the brother-in-law of Mr. Iqbal Sharma, and somebody who actually worked quite closely with Mr. Iqbal Sharma in this case in particular, in terms of signing and all of that. So he's going to appear, apply for his bail. Immediately after that, the matter will be postponed to the 5th of July, where they'll join the other 3 accused former government officials that are currently out on bail. At that particular point, we've mentioned many a times that when bail is concluded, we cannot wait to hand over the docket because our investigations are concluded, and we cannot wait to get a high court date where this matter can be properly ventilated.
Thank you very much. We heard Dinesh Patel, the brother-in-law, of Iqbal Sharma, will be at the Bloemfontein Magistrate Court for his bail application. And then thereafter the matter will reappear on the 5th of July. But we heard Iqbal Sharma, his company ISAP Global, the assets that have been moved in 2016 are in excess of 264 million rands. Some of the reasoning behind him being deemed a flight risk and been remanded in custody as his bail has been denied.
Thank you very much, Aviwe Mtila, for that latest update in that matter of Iqbal Sharma's bail application, which has been denied.